Okay, hi, welcome to Sonic Dorms. My name is Max, and on today's show, I have a very special guest. She's probably one of my favorite current artists. Probably in the last I discovered her, probably about 3, 4 months ago. She's a singer-songwriter in the independent side of things, but she's breaking out, I believe, in a big way. Her name is Charlie Rizzo. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
It's perfect. Yes.
Perfect, Charlie Rizzo. So, tell me how you're doing today. You doing all right?
I'm great. Yes. I'm just coming from the rehearsal. It was cool.
Absolutely. And you're just rehearsing for the band simply for future performance or just to keep
Yes.
yourselves future performance. Okay.
Yes, I would say so. Yes, we're very, yeah, we think positive, in a sort of way. So no, yeah, we really hope to go back and play live. And also, yes, it's good to hang out together and spend time together and even have fun and playing covers. It's not really that we have precisely do all the steps of
Right.
our songs.
I was going to ask you, where are you located right now specifically?
I'm in Genoa, I'm in Italy,
Okay.
and since a year almost, because I do also travel and go to London quite often, but because of the coronavirus and the situation, obviously. So I've got family here and I'm here in Genoa now. I'm based here. My producer is from Genoa, so yes, we work together here.
Fantastic. Your accent's very like almost. I'm hearing a little bit of an English accent in there.
British,
Yes,
yes,
a
it's
little bit.
true. Yes, well, because I've been studying and working in London for a few years, and I've got the chance to go back there. So my English really, I studied it there, so that's why I have a bit of an accent.
Fantastic. So, if you don't mind, we're on the show. We like to get down to, especially with first-time artists, we like to talk about the roots of an artist and as where they come from, their origin story, if you will. And to me, that is what's most exciting about any artist is finding out their background and what informed them to become the artists that they are today. So, if you wouldn't mind telling us a little bit about where it all started for you.
Yeah, well, I believe everything starts in family, most of the things, especially when I have had, I have a father who's very, is a country and folk lover, and especially American, like, John Donovan and Chris Christopherson. And so I grown up with him, listened to his music, and my mother, she was more like she appreciated Radiohead as well, so she was very yeah, modern and at the time. And so, and I love myself, I started digging in the world of 1970s and 1960 music, so I'm in love with the Beatles, obviously. And so I love all that area, and so David Bowie, Simon Garfunkel, all the classical things. But I still love me myself, I love country music as well. And I've been playing with a band also that plays bluegrass as well. So it's nice, and it's nice also to, I think, it's a combination of few things that brought me here. And so I began with the guitar. So my songs really I start writing a song either from the lyrics or from the music. It depends by the song. But I start from literally with the guitar and the voice. And so my origins are a mix of, I've been listening to many type of genre, musical genre. So it's a mix of things.
I hear a lot of what you've mentioned in your music. I hear that singer songwriter, but in that classic sense of like artists that came from the 60s and the 70s, where it was very almost like folky, very organic, very soul driven. You can tell a lot of these artists back then, like Chris Christopherson, were pouring their hearts out into their instruments and into their songs. And songwriting, which to me is a key component of any song, was a huge part of their philosophy as artists in a big way, where it really wasn't about songwriting production or any of the bells and whistles. It was more about just the voice and about the
Yeah.
story that these artists were trying to convey to the people that they were conveying it to.
True, absolutely. And it was so in a way it wasn't it was very true. It was very with they were like the outsider at the time. They were saying things, political things,
Mhm.
expressing themselves through words, and so and those voices very charismatic. So they were sort of gurus at the time for some people, and times are changing, and even these days is much more different. Everything is different, so it's more complicated. These songwriters at the time, they were very pure in a sort of way, so I really love that.
Yeah, you're definitely bringing some of that into the picture again. At least that's part of the reason why you caught my ear when I first heard your voice. There's also a tinge of just, I don't know, in your tonality, in your vocal. I hear a lot of Dolores O'Riordan from the Cranberries. There's a touch of that in
Yeah.
your voice. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of people. I'll say they are saying this. Keep telling me this since I was a kid, and I was playing even when I play folk music and different kind of music. But still, I believe there is a tone in my voice, and there is a sort of yes touch of something that comes. I don't know, sort of an Irish way of singing, even though I'm not. But I always loved. I was a fan of Planet. I was a fan of Enya as well. And it depends when you. It depends the voice you were born with. You can use it. I would never do blues and deep blues, or I could try. But I'm kind of more. Celtic kind of voice and way of singing. So what I really like in my song is to mix the folk and the electronic at this point, which is interesting to me.
I love it because again, it's modern, but the electronic element never becomes it never overwhelms your voice. Your voice is always front and center, and so you're using it in a way that's almost as like uh almost just like to fill up the space, if you will, the audio space,
Yeah.
the sonics, without taking away from the focal point, which is the voice and again the message that your words are conveying to the listener.
Yeah,
So
I'm lucky to have also a producer that knows me very well. And so we work together pretty well. These days, I'm working with GarageBand too. So I'm basically bringing my guitar and the lyrics, and then I upload it on GarageBand and I work with it. So at this stage, I'm going to him with the pre-production, which is makes everything more clear even for him to interpretate what really my aim is. And so we work very well. So yes, he at the first record, it was is called Ruins of Memories, came out on 2016. This record was more kind of folky kind of album, yes, with some songs that might fit in this one as well. The latest is going to come out 1st of December, is called Tornado. A few songs might fit in, but all the rest were more folk kind of things. So it was the first collaboration we had, first time we were working together, so we started to know each other. I believe with this record we really reach a higher level also of comprehension between us, and I feel very comfortable now in sharing my work with him.
I was going to ask you if you wouldn't mind. You touched upon your producer and your main collaborator. You've been working with him since the first record, which is Ruins of Memories, which I love that record. I have to mention "The Strength" is probably my favorite song on that album.
Thank you.
The melody is a major important factor for me when it comes to music. To me, the melody is a hook, or it can be a hook if utilized correctly. And to me, the melody on that is gorgeous. And there's just something about it it's music that I would listen to like on a really wonderful pair of headphones and just kind of like late at night and just get swept away by it. So I definitely hear that in that song. So I'd have to say thank you for that. It's definitely a favorite of mine.
Thank you very much. I'm flattered. I'm glad you like it. It's one of the first songs I wrote.
Ever, and it just
Yeah, well, one of the first, really, with Ruins of Memories itself and The Strength, yes. Both of them, they were kind of, yes, I was kind of, yeah, I believe in back in the, yeah, 20 years ago, I would say. So
Really?
yes, I waited a lot before doing a record, making a record. I waited a lot. I waited, I don't know what kind of, I used to play with bands and do cover and playing other songs, but I was writing and I was keeping everything for myself. But I believe there was a point in my life when I went to a therapist for 3 years and, just solving some everyday problems and things and talking with someone, and she actually gave me the strength also to put all together and go straight to my friend who's the producer. His name is Mattia, and we say hi to him. And so, yeah, so I collect everything I had and I went to him. We discussed a lot, introduced me to another guy who's very precious to me. He's my guitarist, and also he does all the arrangements in my records, and he deal with musicians, and his name is Tristan. So yeah, is basically where everything started. I just need to have the strength
Right.
to start and put it together, everything. So that's what's the strength it's all about. Actually, it's about music, really. It's someone who teach me first steps in music, a friend of mine who teach me guitar, how to play the guitar. So yes, the strength is about music.
That's beautiful. This show is all about providing a strength to music in general and the worlds of music, and that's why we celebrate all types of music on our show. We aren't just a rock show or a metal show or a soul show or a folk show or an R&B or a rap show. We're about uniting the beauty of music just in general and everything that celebrating all art, all of it in totality. And I think that a message like that in your song, like the strength, is something that's really
Hmm.
important to reinforce to me that music is more just than just about business or commerce. It's about soul and it's about purity. And that without that, you don't have the business. Without well crafted songs, you don't have any money to make off of the music. But it all begins with a person, a human being, and such as yourself, crafting these really poetic pieces for people to, really relate to. And that's definitely a message that I think a lot of people can relate to. So that's beautiful. That's
Well,
amazing.
as thanks to your podcast as well, and yes, it's we need to support each other. And so, at a certain point, you need to do what makes you happy. Of course, you have your work, your job, your everyday life, but still, I mean, if you feel the urge, definitely you need to keep going. And I'm very glad I choose to do that.
Yeah, much. It's funny you mentioned the whole thing about you having all this time to think about what you wanted to do and how you wanted to make your debut as an artist, and you had all these collections of songs that you were preparing for a long, long time before you finally built up the strength, as you put it, to go forward and make release these songs and make them into a record and an album and whatnot. And I can relate to that because like I spent a long time thinking about how I should. I've always loved music history, and I'm a firm believer that without the history, you don't have the music. And I've always collected just a long list catalog of knowledge on artists and bands and the stories behind songs. But finding a way to do that in a world that's oversaturated right now, just in general with music, with art, with a lot of things, I had to really find that strength within myself to say, hey, regardless of all these different people doing these things, which is great, I shouldn't let that stop me from doing it the way I would. And because to me, I feel like, especially in music, uh, it could never hurt for more people to display their passion for it. Because to me, that's something that needs to be reinforced, especially in today's culture. That sense of love and admiration, the way people really music used to be a very powerful tool for people to express themselves and actually connect. And I feel like, especially with social media now, we need to find new ways to bring back that sort of passion into music and music passion and admiration.
Absolutely, I agree. Absolutely, we need to share it. I believe the social media, they're giving us a hand during this time. I don't feel in a sort of way abandoned. My things, even I decided to come out with Tornado on the 1st of December. Even my musician, they were saying, let's see if it's really a good move, but it was an year, it was ready since an year, so I couldn't wait more, because after a while then it gets in a sort of way old to you, and it doesn't represent you maybe anymore. So I need to go, I needed to go with the flow, and I really had that vibe, and I have this vibe of Tornado right now. So lucky, we're kind of, yes, we're not very lucky this time, but still the social media are giving us a hand, and then we'll see. Obviously the best thing for us is playing live music, and so that will be the aim, and I hope in the next month we'll be able to do that. But yes, it's good to express ourselves and not waiting too much to do so.
Right. And so if you wouldn't mind telling me what was the journey between the first album, and which was released in 2016, and now this new album, where what how long did it take for it to build? How long did it take you to write these songs? Did you have already have them written? Is in a backlog somewhere, or this is this all new material, fresh material that you wrote in between the first record and where you're at now? Tell us about
It's
that process.
definitely, yeah, it's definitely new material. It's definitely things I've been writing since I was actually touring on 2017 with my musician, and bring around ruins of memories, and we were singing those songs and a few covers. And while we were touring, I started to write new songs, and also, so I had 4 years, basically two for writing those songs, and another couple, maybe a year and a half to go to the studio and to arrange it and do everything with a producer. So in between, so it's definitely all new material, and you can hear it because it's really is very coordinated. I don't know, I would say, because I started to use also this garage band, which is just an app on it very well, so on the phone. But the good thing about it is wherever you go, you always carry your phone with you. So you take a plane, you go on a train somewhere, on a trip, and so step by step I put together all the album and using this, and you can feel it's all new material, and all written in the same like couple of years, because the sense and the vibe of the songs. So this mix between folk and electronic kind of things. Some of the songs are slightly green pop sort of. There is a song that reminds me a lot about soundtracks, maybe Netflix soundtracks, like Stranger Things. And there is a specific song, it's called We're Even, and it's about arguments between two, and in a couple. And it's so nice writing songs. It's the best part. I prefer best than performing is to create, to create and to think about the lyrics, to think about the music, and to go into the studio and pass the time there and work together. That's the best part of it. The creative part is the part I prefer.
I agree. I especially even with legacy bands or legacy artists who are still alive and well. Thankfully, I'm a big promoter that even at their older age, I would rather hear them put out a new album of new material at their current age, even if it's 72, and have them continue to be creative rather than them rely on their past always. And to me, there's not that there's anything wrong with that, but to me, there's something really amazing about artists that just continue to create and continue to use that as the main factor of importance, the prime mover, if you will, for themselves. Because to me, without the music, again, at its core, I love watching live shows, but to me, it's always been about songs. So to me, that continuous of going back to the well and creating new music to me will always be number one.
Definitely, I agree.
So
I was thinking while we were talking, I was thinking about Paul McCartney, for instance,
right,
who never stopped into an area. It was like with Beatles, and he moved forward, and he never stopped created. And I believe he's 70 something right now,
right.
and he's still, still going, and is doing amazing things. So I'm a fan of him.
Very prolific. Someone else like
Very.
Prince is another artist who, throughout his entire career, just never stopped writing. There's, I mean, even a vault of material that he had left over before his passing that's accumulated over decades of just countless songs that written, recorded, produced, just unreleased. But I love artists like that. Just don't stop. It's just like a consistent rhythm for them, and that's amazing. So I applaud you for being someone who seems to be on that same track record of just like you just want to create. Creating is the number one importance for you.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely
is
agree.
there on this new album? What the album title is? Tornado.
Yes, it's Tornado.
Okay, and as far as like, is there an overall thematic, uh, just main focal point on this record where you feel like all these songs are connected by one theme, or is it just various short stories within these songs?
I believe there are different short stories, but this sense of tornado is the breakdown. So reaching a point, well, you have to change things. And you kind of, it could be a creative, like artistic breakdown too. So as I mentioned before, I was feeling, I was looking Ruins of Memories as a folk, indie folk album, but then moving into this new world, my world of Tornado, is a breakdown. So I really want to break down and experiment new things and move forward. And so also is also about is a breaking down of being confident finally,
Right,
more confident than before, which is all about going around playing live and place to place for a year and and then another year, and then you build your confidence on that.
right,
And it's experience, and you starting to do. I mean, I haven't got a long years experience, but still I'm building it, and now I feel more comfortable than before. So
right.
Tornado is this kind of breakdown, and also Tornado is a song as well, and talks about this breakdown. So it's really about a tornado coming. So you feel the danger is coming, you feel the tornado is coming and changing your life, and then you need to focus on new things and to move forward. And after the tornado, everything changes, and you need to build yourself again. It's all about this. And I believe the songs are in a way connected, but they're all different stories. They're kind of dreamlike kind of stories, I would say. So I write a lot about stories, personal, emotional kind of stories, if as if they were dreams. I see myself in the kind of in the middle of the night with this pale air, and everything is unfocused, and I kind of dive into this vibe when I write.
What's your I asked this of all the artists that are welcomed and invited onto the show. One of my biggest, because this is what interests me. You already tapped into some of that with Tornado and what you just explained to me about that track in particular. But what is your songwriting approach when you first? Is it very stream of consciousness for you? Because I know some artists have this ability to just almost like let it bleed out without even thought, with no thought, or they'll have a thought and then they'll use that thought to allow the rest to just seep through them. So, what's your approach?
Yeah, I do. It's really in is really, yes, like, is an instinct that I have. I follow the music. I most of the time I start with a melody, and so with some music, so I just let it flow, let out, even if it was a sort of therapist kind of process, therapy kind of process. So I kind of just let go, and without having a precise idea of where I want to go. So some of the songs came out this way, and I started to write things. And actually, I found myself realizing that things that have meaning, a purpose, I know where I wanted to go after I read it. And so it's good. I find it's really a natural process, with no not forcing yourself into trying to writing about something specific. But then sometimes maybe you read a book and you felt about this book, and like recently I read a book about the afterlife. And so I'm working these days with the new producer, who's a friend of my actual producer. So they're sort of working, matching together. But he's a popular guy in Italy. He's from a band who's well known. He's nice. He's a great guy. And he's a very nice producer. So we're doing this experiment about this song. It's called The Light. It's going to come out, I believe, further 2021. So it's not part of Tornado album. But yes, that was about this book that I read, and I really, I felt it deep in, you know, I had dreams about that, and so it depends, really. It depends. I try also to exercise and doing something different, because it's good to have a different approach.
Right.
Like I try to sometimes I try to force myself and give myself a theme, maybe something to think of, or maybe reading a newspaper and try to build a story on that. So it's a good exercise. And then I've been to a course. I've been to, yes, a course last year, and that was in England, in the countryside, and it was very nice, a retreat of songwriting. And it was so cool. We were kind of, working together with different people, something that I don't do very often, actually. Maybe almost never, is writing with someone. I never had a chance. So that was a chance to me to share my things, and being able working with other people. That was amazing, brilliant. I loved it.
So, that songwriting retreat that you went on, are the songs that you wrote during that retreat songs that you're going to bring into the next batch of songs for the next record, or is that,
Um,
or some of those songs that you are just going to keep to yourself now, or did any of those songs end up on this new record, Tornado, or?
Yes, there is a song that I wrote in the middle of the night after the course. We went, it was very nice because we were writing song all day long, and then the melody. And then we were playing and doing jam session in the night. It was so cool. So we were maybe going to bed 1 o'clock in the evening, and then I couldn't sleep. And so I just had to write this song that is, it's going to be actually my third video clip as well, and it's called Nothing at All, and it's going to be in Tornado in this album.
Okay, and what was that song in particular inspired by in general, if you don't mind?
No, absolutely. That was a song about something is a sort of relationship that used to be brilliant and wonderful and fun, and it's like going to an amusement park, and then you find yourself that everything is sort of run down, and you lost that feeling. So
Right.
you feel literally nothing at all. And the video clip is gonna we were there actually filming last week, and we were so lucky that we find a chance to go outside our boundary, like outside Genoa. We went to on the east coast of Italy, filming in this amusement park and on this wonderful beach, very long and wide, um, at 7 o'clock in the morning, and it was beautiful. And so I look forward to see what the director has come out with. And we filmed with the Super 8 that used to be an old
Old camera.
fashion camera, yes, from the 70s. So this is a spoiler, but it's very nice to talk about this because, well, and I'm just talking about the video clip, but it's going to come out, I believe, in March. I believe it's going to be a single after the album. So the album is coming out in December, but this video clip and the single we were thinking about launching them in March.
Okay, that's one. I mean, I'm excited. Super, you had me at Super 8. I think that's incredible. You don't really see too many people using Super 8 anymore because the film itself, also, I believe, is hard to find. To actually find Super 8 film is, and it's also a more meticulous process because now we're going back to the old way of doing things as far as like editing is concerned because you're not working on a computer or anything like that, which makes it that much more convenient, right? But Super 8 is
Absolutely.
more meticulous.
Yes, plus you couldn't know, I mean, if something came out well. We just have to trust each other and see. And we had 20 meters of it, and it's about the length. And so we used it all, but we couldn't, repeat a scene. We couldn't watch it. We are so used now to digital cameras and even phones. They're doing a great job just using the phone. So but yeah, that was particular. It was very nice experience. I love the director. It's the same director that worked on Dark and Tornado, both the video clip.
Your speaking of music videos, your visuals are very. I would consider them impactful. A lot of the videos, even if it's a lighter message, I consider everything to be very potent and very exact. Are those visions that you come up with? Do you come up with the concepts for these videos, or do you allow the directors to work their way into creating concepts for you?
Well, I am very lucky because I found people that use their empathy very well. They are very empathic in a sort of way. So they really understand what I have in my mind. And I try to explain. I have a vision. I like to take care of everything that I do and plus the video clip. So the first one, Dark, it was filmed during lockdown in March. And yes, we just actually, I saw a picture of the director. He showed me a picture that he'd done, and it was sort of an abstract kind of atmosphere, like being in a room, an empty room. And so we thought, we're living this time of, we're in lockdown, everyone at home, and dark is a kind of sense of feeling up and down all the time, but you still got to find the strength to reach the light, but still then comes the dark again because it's all about mood, and so the video was great because he had the idea of filming through stages, through rooms. You're basically passing in different several kind of rooms, and is a kind of inner sort of vision of symbolizing those rooms, and so there is me singing, and there's the world as well. There are lots of animals, there are lots of fighting as well, there are plants, there are, it's all my he captured what I had to what I had to say. He captured my feeling and my dream. So he was very good in interpreting what I wanted to show.
Do you think that trust that you built there is part of the reason why you've kind of you've let that trust guide you as far as like this next video with the Super 8 camera and whatnot? Because you
I
trust
trust
more.
him very much.
Mhm.
Yes, I believe in perfectionist, and when I pick one, I have the only I would say merit. I don't know if I'm. The good thing is when you pick the right people, and it's also being able to do that is a great thing. I mean, I have a vision. If I meet a person, I know if it's gonna work or not. I mean, these people are great, and I'm very faithful now to them because I like what they do. I like the work, and they interpretate it very well. So yes, so I trust him very much, and I'm very curious to see this latest one, the Nothing at All. We're waiting. it's going to be a couple of weeks, and I'm going to see the first step of it.
I'm excited too now. Obviously had no idea that there was a Super 8 video that you had in the works, so I'm very excited to see that. I'm a big fan, a big film fan, so especially just like when it comes to the technical side of it. So to me, that the fact that you're working in that field, it's almost like doing what it's very organic, I think, for you as an artist because you already bring out a lot of vintage authenticity into your music and your visuals. So they actually go into using the technology that was used back in the 70s or in the 80s even and exploit it in your own way. I think that's it's almost like you actually stepping into a world that you're in a way very familiar with already.
Yes, it's true. I mean, it's really my world. It's really my musical world. What I have in mind is I have so much. There's so much that has been given from the 70s and the 60s, and you already know that I'm in love with that time, and I wish we would have born that time. It would have been wonderful, and but still I'm living these days, and I take advantage of it, and I try to melt the experiences and what is new and fresh. So I try also to listen to different kind of music. I recently did an experiment with a band that wrote to me through Instagram actually, and they play house music, electronic music. So I'm not into it. I never wrote anything about or for a house music kind of track, but I tried, and we did a couple, and I liked it so much. And they're gonna come out with their EP, and I'm waiting for them. Then I'm gonna share it on my socials as well. Is a different me. I mean, it's a different side, but still, I mean, as in life, you should be able to. Going out with different people, being in different situation, and still can handle them, and being confident. So that's why I'm singing. I'm Italian, but I pick English because I like to share with as much as people as I can. And I believe English is a great way.
Have you ever attempted to incorporate any of your natural Italian language into any of your songs at all, even if it's just for a little bit?
I don't know. I think never, because only when I sing like old Italian songs with friends, having fun, embracing themselves, something that we forgot to do these days, and uh, and so yeah, it's just for fun. Maybe I never did it on purpose for a song because I don't know. It's like I don't feel the urge to do it. I prefer to keep going and being able to share my things worldwide. I like to travel, so if also allows me and give me the chance to travel, playing at festivals, Northern Europe and everywhere, it would be amazing. And so I'm working to do this, and I'm working hard. I hope I can do it soon, as soon as I can. And so that's my aim. My goal is being able to travel with music. That would be the perfection.
Is there what after okay, you're releasing the album December 1st, Tuesday, December 1st, that is. Where how are you going about promoting this material? Because I know it's very difficult for artists everywhere right now, no matter if they have $50 million in their bank account or they have none. It's very difficult for anybody right now to promote their music in a way that is of the old model as far as going out and touring. All these artists would make back their revenue in what they would make touring. I know it's a struggle right now with what's going on. How are you going to promote your material right now?
It is a struggle. It's very difficult, and it's money out, basically. It's money out. If you pick again, I believe this time I picked new companies for promoting my things. So I have a press office, brand new press office from Rome. They're working very well. There are lots of interviews and articles that are going to come out next month in December. And I have a few interviews these days, which is good. And also there is another company that takes care of the promotion through the socials. But I do take care of Instagram myself. I don't let anyone writing things, and it's me. It's just me with my phone. So it's everything comes from me. The videos I upload, the post, everything. So, but yes, you need to have professional figures to help you out, and I believe I've done a good job. I mean, I saw Tornado has nice views and dark as well, and the worldwide, so it's great to me to be heard. That's what I need most. What I need the most is, I'm in the independent scene, and so we need definitely to be heard.
Right. I I have this idea. I don't know when I'm going to execute it exactly, but I've already spoken to a couple artists if they'd be more than willing to be a part of it. But just because of how things are right now, I know a lot of artists just want to get their music out there. I would love to have you on maybe someday as just to do like an impromptu, almost like a cappella piece.
Cool.
Uh,
Absolutely.
just something. I mean, just maybe two songs. And that's it. And but like
Def-
in between, speak of the songs and where they came from, and almost like a modern MTV Unplugged, if you will,
yeah,
where
cool.
artists would just go on and very impromptu, very spontaneously uh, sing their songs and then tell us a little bit about them. And I think that's because again, bringing that warmth and that quality and that love for music back in it, but in a modern way because things are a little different right now, or a lot different, I should say. But I still think it's important to remind people that music is that impactful. It could be that impactful, especially when it's coming from the soul. So I would love to do something like that at some point. So if,
Absolutely.
yeah,
It's a great idea. Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
of course.
I would love to do that.
We've only had the show now for about 2 months, I believe, 2.5 months. So this is very new, but we're hoping through word of mouth we can make this an I wouldn't want to say the perfect platform, but a nice platform, a very comfortable platform for artists such as yourself, and anybody really is invited to just speak their truths. And I want people to just feel relaxed and be able to comfortably express themselves on here. Because again, to me, music is that important, and I think artists can never get enough platforms, especially today, to express themselves
Mm.
and their music.
Absolutely. So cool what you're doing, and it's very cool what you're doing, and so yes, we all appreciate very much, and it's always nice to get into contact with new people and chatting and following. I've been following your podcast now since we write each other, since we wrote each other, and yes, and it's very interesting. I like it very much.
Really appreciate that. I try to, because there are so many different types of artists and different types of,
Yes.
even 10 episodes in, we have many different kinds of people on the show. I interviewed a band from London called Artificial Pleasure not too long ago, and the singer Phil McDonald. An absolute blast to talk to him. But that's an alternative funk soul band with German krautrock, almost like influences from the '70s, like Kraftwerk, embedded into
Oh
their
yeah.
music. Very different sounding kind of band, very unique. But that's my point. I feel like the show can consistently be rejuvenated and refreshed with every episode because every episode allows a different artist, a different type of artist to come on the show. So it's a chameleon kind of show. It's a show that allows itself to consistently change shape and shape form to the form of that artist. So like
Yeah.
this, our show right now isn't going to sound anything like the episode before or the episode after.
Yes, it's very fresh. It's
Yes,
very nice. It's very nice to follow. Interesting.
we
Yes.
don't really necessarily follow a consistent mold outside of quality. I
Mm.
always want to promote quality, but outside of the quality, we want it to just consistently go left and right and keep people on their toes as far as who's going to talk, what they're going to sound like, what they're going to bring in as far as their energy, and how that's going to mold that episode. So it's a new show every time almost.
It's so cool, actually. Yes. You never get bored of it.
No, there, it's never what you would expect. So, with that being said, I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on the show. I don't want to take any more of your time, and I really appreciate you coming on. And we can't wait. I can't wait to hear the album. I know day of is. Would you mind telling me or us the show where we can purchase your album, because I'm a big believer in buying the art, and it's streaming to me isn't enough. And I want people to at least know that it is available for purchase, even if it's digital. I want to buy it digitally. I actually want to spend money on it. Where can I buy this album?
Thank you. It's very kind of you. And thank you for the invitation. And it was so nice talking to you. So, my album is going to come out on every platform, on Spotify, obviously, Deezer, Apple Music. And also, if you want to purchase the proper record physically, you can write me on Instagram in private, because I'm taking care of it for now. And then we'll see if I need any help. But yes, and so yeah. Also, there is a website, you can check it out. It's charlierisso.com, and everything is written in there. So if you need to purchase the album, you can pass through that.
Fantastic. So, as far as the physical copy that people can write to you, to your personal Instagram page, or
Yeah.
your only Instagram page, is that a CD? Is that physical copy in the shape of a CD?
Yes.
Okay.
For now is a CD, and we are thinking to also do some vinyls, some copies of vinyls, and I really like. There is a coming back to the vinyls, which I love, and so yes, I think we're gonna do that. But for now, they're gonna be the CDs. Are almost done. Like next week, they're gonna be ready, fresh and ready.
Fantastic. I still love CD. I still buy CD. I know everybody loves vinyl. I love vinyl too because I can hang it up on my wall. But to me, I love CD because it's a lossless format, so I can hear high fidelity audio, and can be a digital source as well because I can transfer it, put it on my computer, and turn it into media files, and actually listen to it on my phone afterwards.
Absolutely. I buy CDs too, still. Absolutely. Every time I go to a gig or, yes, purchase the album. Yes.
And one quick side note before I let you go, if you don't mind me asking, do all the proceeds of the record itself, any purchases, any streams, does that go directly to you? Or is that something that, like, do you own all the rights to your music at the moment? Or is that something like, will you be benefiting in a big way here? Like from any purchases?
Well, well, yes, I kind of, there is Spotify and things, so I passed through a promotional company that took care of it. And so, yes, I think, I don't know the percents, but yeah, I think I'm gonna share it. So it's not 100% to me, and I have to sell lots of them to try to do what I've spent on for making it. But yes, I hope I will sell them all. And but let's say half and half will come to me.
Okay, good. No, again, I want to do as much as possible on the show to make it a known fact that people do bleed and sweat and shed their tears for their artwork, and artists do deserve proper compensation for their work. And I want people to know that art should be paid for to some extent. I think that should never go away, because without that, then there is no art. So that's where the commerce
Absolutely.
comes into play. We need the business, the music business. The business in that is we need to support our artists so they can continue making more music that we love and cherish into the future. So I always want to make
Absolutely.
sure. I always want to make sure that artists, or at least people, know that there is a way for people to buy your records as well as stream them.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Yes.
Absolutely. So, thank you so much, Charlie, for coming on today. We'd love to have you back on if you ever want to promote anything else, even if it's for like a 15-minute chat about whatever you're releasing in that moment. We'd love to have you back
Willingly.
on.
Thank you, Max.
It was
Thank you,
a
Max. Thank
pleasure.
you very much. Take care.